Okay, welcome. This is Jay Schock with Seagrass Consulting, and with me today, I've got, Toya Wilson-Smith, correct?
Correct.
All
Hello,
right.
how are you, Jay?
I am fine. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the 6 consumer trends shaping the future of restaurants and social media, how social media can sort of help these trends and restaurateurs as they expand their businesses. So a little bit about Toya. She's our Chief Marketing Officer at the Next Generation Digital Marketing Agency. And why don't you tell us, how did you get to this point in time?
Well, I have my MBA in marketing, but that was a long time ago. And so traditionally, I started off in sales with companies such as FedEx, and then I went into pharmaceutical sales with J&J and Merck. Once I decided to leave corporate America, I started my own digital marketing agency in 2011. And so I've been doing that ever since, helping small business owners grow and attract new customers online.
Fine. Okay, so there's a report that was put together, sponsored by Coca-Cola, and it talks about 6 consumer trends shaping the future of restaurants. And we'll go over each one and see how social media can connect with these. So the first one is Value Plus. So in Value Plus, millennials are especially fond of deals. 46% of them are seeking out deals more often. So in your experience in the restaurant industry, how might you take advantage of this, the millennials?
Well, first and foremost, the best place, regardless of what audience you're targeting, to share information about your restaurant and whatever deals you may be offering is on social media, right? Millennials can be found in droves in 2 places. Number one is Instagram, and secondly is still Facebook. And those platforms have very robust advertising options. So I suggest to any restaurant, big or small, should be using at least a portion of their advertising budget by creating Facebook and Instagram ads. You can share offers, exclusive deals for people following you on those social platforms, and drive people or new customers into your business, especially on days that may not be as busy as, we'll say, the weekends, like Friday and Saturday evenings. So the perfect time, and I want to make sure that I emphasize this the most, Jay, to release or publish that Facebook or Instagram ad is right before the hour of the day you want to drive that traffic. So if you have lunch specials, or let's say you have a happy hour special, make sure you turn that Facebook or Instagram ad on about an hour to an hour and a half, so 90 minutes before you're expecting that crowd of people to come in. While they're thinking about, hey, what am I going to do for happy hour on Thursday night or Friday before dinner? Then if you know 5 to 7 on Thursdays is that peak time that you're looking to bring people in with specials, then release those Facebook and Instagram ads between 3:30 and 4:30.
Nice. I've never done that before. Of course, I don't have a restaurant, so. Okay, so Value Plus, value and pricing. So the next one was the evolution of healthy. And the report finds that nearly 40% of consumers are more inclined to visit restaurants that provide healthy options, even if that's not what they're going to order. So tie that into social media.
So one of the things that my clients, and especially my restaurant clients, are finding is that most people that are discovering their business for the first time, they are discovering them online, so on a social platform, not on their website. Your website tends to be stagnant. You're not updating it as often as you would be updating your social media accounts. So one restaurant in particular that specializes in offering healthy options will release their healthy menu option of the day every single day on Facebook. Now, it is literally a picture and the title of the dish. In some cases, they may put in the ingredients that helps, but they noticed their following just organically increasing without even using Facebook ads, just because people were sharing it with their networks and deciding to choose that option because they may be looking for healthy options because they're fighting diabetes or they're trying to lose weight. Or in our area, as you are well aware, we have a lot of people that are relocating here after retirement. So they're looking for options that may be fitting within some of their doctor's recommendations. So anytime people can just see a menu option on their mobile phone, that tends to catch their attention. So if you have staff that you can outsource that particular job to, that's a great way to start driving traffic into your restaurant or getting people to pick up the phone and call and ask about those particular menu options.
Yeah, for me, I always look for the healthy fries. I only go to a place where it's healthy.
So that means you're eating a lot of sweet potato fries, right?
Yes, actually I do. Okay. All right. Third trend is flexibility and discovery. Today's restaurant patrons value meal times without borders, the freedom to customize, and exposure to new flavors. So the Hartman Group found that consumers snack multiple times per day. Solutions include all-day breakfast and beverages, smoothies, and coffee drinks. So how can we tie this into social media?
So again, going back to sharing your menu options during the day, right, is a great opportunity for people to discover, even current or past customers, new things that they may have not considered before. So a perfect example is I tend to go to one restaurant on Wednesdays. They have a $5 cheeseburger special, right? $5.
The healthy cheeseburger.
A healthy cheeseburger, exactly, right?
Right.
But it's the best cheeseburger I think I've had in life. And for $5, it's a great menu, right, item. So I liked their restaurant on Facebook because I fell in love with their cheeseburgers. I only go there for their cheeseburgers until they said, hey, we have smoothies and some other specialty drinks that are specials offered throughout the day every single day. But we rotate the smoothie flavor of the day. So I'm in love with pumpkin. You know, this is fall, right? And pumpkin is very popular during fall. So it's hard for me to find pumpkin inspired recipes or flavored coffees and smoothies. And when that came across my newsfeed, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go and try one. So I will tell restaurateurs, don't be afraid to share healthy or other unique different flavor or menu items that you may be offering, because even though people frequent your restaurant, they usually don't know the extent of your menu. So make sure that you are offering content that will expose, especially current fans of your page on social media like Facebook and Instagram, everything you have to offer, and you can do that in a great rotation.
So perfect. Part of the study that I didn't talk about was finally more than a third of the consumers are saying new and interesting foods. So exactly what you're saying. If you've got the new lemon lime smoothie, throw it out there. See that one group that's going to come in.
Exactly. And the other thing that you tend to find out about throwing it out there on your social networks, right, is that maybe you think that's a great flavor or you think that should be a popular menu item, and your fans tell you they're really not feeling it, right? So it can help you determine and hone in what are going to be really popular items depending on the time of year or depending on where trends are going in your local area. So you want to kind of test out what may be popular and what may be a flop before you invest a lot of money buying the ingredients necessary to prepare those meals or particular specialty drinks.
The power of social media.
The power of social media. You give people an opportunity to express their opinion. We love that, right?
Yep. Okay, trend number 4, hyperconvenience. So on the go, consumers increasingly want to dictate when, where, and how they choose to order their food. This gets us into the restaurants that offer on-demand delivery and delivery-only concepts. Social media, back again. How can we help our restaurateurs?
So it's interesting when we start to talk about technology and restaurants and things like that, there's a balance, right? I think that you need to know what, and when I say you need to know, I mean customers need to know what their favorite restaurants offer in terms of options to be able to get their food. I mean, we know mobile delivery has been growing about 7%, and that is referenced in the article, restaurantbusinessonline.com, that I think you're referring to, year over year for the last few years. But what is still interesting is we still like to deal with humans. We still like to speak to a live person. So for the people that are interested in using technology for their ordering, like ordering through your mobile app, you want to share often all of the ways they can get food from you, right? So for example, I think quite a few people still don't know that Panera Bread delivers. Panera Bread is a national chain, right? And for people that work in an office that are interested in maybe purchasing food for groups of 6 to 8, 10 people, wouldn't it be nice to have Panera Bread delivered? Yeah. But if you don't know that, you would never consider that. So don't take for granted that your customers know all of the ways they can order from you, or all of the, I will say, ways that they can communicate even with you, right? Because now Facebook is giving you options to interact with customers through Messenger, and that's only going to grow. So if you have ordering options online, don't take for granted that people would like to be able to message you with questions, especially when it comes to customization. So, can I customize this salad? How do I do that without necessarily speaking to you? Or what's the fastest way to doing that? So being able to share that information on Facebook in a post or on Instagram, I think is invaluable, especially for millennials who are trying to save time.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, 5th one, digitization. So 61% of the consumers say that they find out about new restaurants, well, surprisingly, through social media channels, according to a study by Toast. One of the areas that I want to cover on is, have you used videos in your social media?
Yes, video is amazing because it's the content form that people engage with the most, right? So if you think about a commercial on television brings to life those meals, those sandwiches that we love. And even if you're not hungry, sometimes if you see it, all of a sudden you decide you want a steak from that restaurant, right? It just looks good. So for a fraction of the cost, now local restaurateurs can produce their own commercials and put them on YouTube, Google My Business, Facebook, and Instagram. So now I know that everyone is familiar with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and Facebook tends to be the social network that everybody pays attention to, right?
Depending on your age group, right?
Depending on your age group, right? Because millennials love Instagram, they love Snapchat. Now, though, YouTube advertising is the least expensive social platform to advertise on, because you can get per view a person to watch your video for 3 to 5 cents. Can't do that on Facebook anymore, right? So shooting a quick 10, 15-second video of your most popular meal items and then advertising on YouTube within a 5 to 10 mile radius of your restaurant can prove to drive traffic into your restaurant and increase brand awareness now for the fraction of the cost. And then you can do the same thing by uploading that same video to Google My Business. Because what do people do when they are searching for a new restaurant? You don't go necessarily to Facebook. Facebook is, kind of a disruptor because people are on there socializing, right? Keeping in touch with family and friends, saying happy birthday to different people. But you do go to Google sometimes to search for a good Chinese food restaurant, for example.
So I learned that YouTube now is a cost-effective way, but who's actually looking at YouTube? So if I put up a video for my restaurant, is there a certain generation that's following YouTube?
So think about this in terms of groups, right? Groupings. The wonderful thing about YouTube is the fact that so many demographics watch YouTube. So the people between the ages, young people between the ages of like 13 to 24 watch a lot of just YouTube shows and YouTube influencers. So they're on YouTube. Remember how great McDonald's did when they introduced Happy Meals for kids? So if you know your younger demographics are watching YouTube and you have a menu that caters towards kids, what better way than to introduce that video to your younger viewers and get them to influence their parents to bring them there? Number one. Number two, when we start looking at people between the ages of 25 and 40, a lot of those people are going to YouTube to find out how to do things, right? So people who have just been recently married may decide to go to YouTube to learn how to cook a particular dish.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they went to YouTube to figure out how to get married. Now we'll have to check that out. There's probably some out there.
There may be some out there for sure. But there are people that visit YouTube all the time looking for how to do things. So you want to make sure that you're capturing those people as well. And again, for the cost of 500,000 views, $10 is not a bad return on investment. You can introduce your restaurant to a whole new brand of consumers.
Perfect. I learned something today. Thank you.
Oh, right. We're always happy when you learn something.
Okay, last one, brand authenticity. More than a third of the millennials crave a cool, hip setting in a restaurant. A factor most likely the factor that's behind the rise of food halls and pop-up eateries. And socially responsible practices are a priority as well, with sustainable sourcing and waste reduction on the top of the list. How can we tie their restaurants to brand authenticity?
So there was a movie that came out, and I'm trying to think of the actor that was in the movie, but it was a movie all about how this restaurateur who decided to open up a food truck, right?
Right.
And it's going across the country, and his young son, I think his son was like 8 or 10 years old, decided to start documenting their experiences on Twitter. And they went from having no one knowing anything about them to having lines of people waiting in the next city that they were traveling to. So people, especially younger folks, so your millennials and younger, are interested in unique brands and restaurants now. So brands that not only share with them what their social values are, and you're doing that online, right? But also what makes them special. So no longer do you have to be a particular storefront restaurant. You can be a food truck, you can be a kiosk. And if you're documenting the experiences, especially of your customers, how they feel when they're there, why it's hip, why it's unique, right? If you're doing something for the community or you're doing something for the environment, social media is the best way to share that message. Video is number one. So interviewing and getting testimonials from customers especially while they are there having the experience, because you can show the ambiance. Then secondly, talking about your menu options, but then third, showcasing your unique brand personality. So I talk about that all the time in my trainings, Jay, is that social media is the place where each company, regardless of your industry, we're talking about restaurants today, need to showcase their brand personality. So that means profiling customers, but also profiling employees and sharing the owner's journey on why they started the restaurant, what's special about the restaurant, what their customers can expect about the restaurant as well when they come in and decide to have a dining experience there. So social allows you to really share lots of information about your particular brand on a regular basis.
Wow. That's a lot, which brings up the next question here, which, okay, so we talked about these 6 popular brand or trends. So I'm a restaurateur, you know, my responsibility is really the back of house, making sure that, you know, the food is coming out, we've got everybody working. How and when do I get time to run my marketing campaign on social media?
So balance again is the key, right? And number one, I always suggest that if a restaurateur can have an employee be responsible and take ownership for creating content for your social media networks, right? And your profiles.
Yep.
Here's the reason why. I know a lot of business owners feel like outsourcing is a great idea. But when you outsource your social media content creation, what happens is you lose your brand identity that we were talking about. You lose your authenticity because the people that you're outsourcing it to, they're not in your restaurant. So
Eating those healthy fries.
Exactly. They're not there eating those sweet potato fries, right? Because I love a good sweet potato fry. So I like to talk about a process called batching, where you don't do social media marketing every single day in your business. You sit down, or you have the employee that you've tasked with this responsibility, sit down once a week or once every other week for about 2 hours and take the pictures and the video content that you've collected over that time period and use a third-party resource like Hootsuite or Later.com or Buffer.com. Those are some of my favorite third-party tools, and schedule those social media posts out. That way you have content dripping consistently, right? Dripping out so that your customers and your potential customers are always hearing from you.
Perfect. Now you've made it easy. I was a little concerned I'd have to go out and hire somebody. And being an entrepreneur, you know, you never want to hire anybody, right? We can do it ourselves.
Right. So, but when you're doing well, right, you can afford to scale. And when you can scale, then you can outsource and bring someone in and hire them to come in and take the pictures and take the video on a regular basis, which is what we do for our clients. We come in once a month and we take pictures and we take video content and we schedule it for the customers. That might not be something you need to do when your restaurant is only months old or even a year old, but it is something that is a viable option when you can afford to have people come in and create the content for you. But starting off, authenticity is more important than saving some time. So
Perfect. Thank you. To expand, if you're looking for more trends shaping the food service industry, you can check cokesolutions.com/food service, and that'll give you some more trends. I appreciate Toya from taking her time from her busy day. You can reach her at the Chief Marketing Officer on LinkedIn. And I'm Jay Schock with Seagrass Consulting. I help small businesses take their situation to the next level. It could be a problem or it could be something good, but I'll work with them. So thank you very much, Toya, and we'll talk soon.
Take care.